of the band. It's
I'm not the
difficult.
leader of the band, by the way.
No?
Everybody calls me the leader of the band. I'm just the lead singer. And no, there's no such thing. But I'm not the general or anything. We're all four equal people, four members, and.
Something I'm sure many of you may have noticed is that the other band members of Queen, those being Brian, Roger and John, are overshadowed by Freddie Mercury. And it's all good saying that, yet do I have any evidence? And if I do have evidence, does Freddie Mercury deserve to overshadow the other band members? Well, let's discuss. What is the definition of overshadow? Appear more prominent or important than? Like it or not, it's safe to say that Freddie Mercury did appear and still does appear as more prominent than the three other band members. And this is due to three main reasons. Firstly, with any lead vocalist in a group, you will notice that the lead vocalist is almost always the main focus at live shows. And Queen is no exception to this. If you watch any of Queen's live shows, I can assure you that Freddie Mercury is always the primary focus. Sure, the camera may pan over to Brian, John or Roger occasionally, though the camera is typically focused on Freddie Mercury. Take this footage of Queen at Wembley in 1986 as an example. Who do we see the most? If you guessed Freddie Mercury, you're right. Secondly, with Freddie Mercury being the lead vocalist, he is the one who sings the lyrics to us. Because of this, we feel a special connection, especially if we can relate to what Mercury is singing about. Generally, most will focus on the lyrics, therefore meaning they're solely acknowledging the lead vocalist, whilst the other band members playing instruments or helping with backing vocals will be disregarded. Of course, some people decide to ignore the vocalist and focus on the instruments or just one instrument. Although most people will tend to exclusively listen to the vocalist and hear what they are singing about. This results in most people seeing the lead vocalist as representing the band or perhaps being the leader of the band. And this is definitely seen with Mercury, but we'll touch on that later. The third and final point I wish to make is that the lead vocalist is commonly the loudest within a track, meaning they're the most prominent, which fits in with the definition of overshadow. And I think you would agree that Freddie Mercury's vocals are almost always the loudest part of any Queen song. Look at most Queen songs and I'm sure you will agree with me. Sure, Brian May does manage to get a great guitar solo into most Queen songs, which is usually fairly loud. Yet, most of the time within a Queen song, Freddie Mercury's vocals are the loudest throughout the song, as Brian May's guitar solos may only last around 45 to 50 seconds, and perhaps 1 minute at the longest, but that's pushing it a bit. There were other reasons I could have gone into on why the three of the band members are overshadowed by Freddie Mercury. However, we'd be here all day if I was to go into those other reasons. And I'm sure you agree with me that it's fair to say that Freddie Mercury overshadows the three other band members. Obviously, this isn't unique to Queen, as many lead vocalists overshadow other band members within their own groups, for similar reasons as I've mentioned here. And due to the lead vocalist being so prominent, we only remember them. I mean, how many bands can you think of where you can name the drummer or the bass player? Nevertheless, back to the topic at hand. Now we have come to the conclusion that Freddie Mercury overshadows the three other band members. Let's discuss whether Mercury deserves to overshadow the three other band members. For us to understand if Freddie Mercury deserves to overshadow the three other band members, we need to understand what he offered to the band. Firstly, Freddie Mercury had an astounding voice, as I'm sure you will understand, and with that voice came an exceptional range, which is great and all, yet he also knew how to use that range to express emotion within a song. This can be seen through a song such as Love of My Life.
You've broken my heart, and now you leave me.
Mercury's voice also allowed him to sing in different genres. A good example of this is with Crazy Little Thing Called Love, which is rockabilly.
I gotta be cool, relax, get it.
Furthermore, Freddie Mercury's voice was like no other, which allowed him to stand out. Secondly, Freddie Mercury was an astonishing live performer. Ultimately, all four band members contributed towards Queen being known as one of the best bands when it comes to performing live. Nonetheless, it would be idiotic of me to discard the fact that it was Mercury who made those live shows so memorable. He was flamboyant, had an astounding voice, knew how to maneuver the stage, and could control the crowd like no one else. I I think you get the point now. Mercury additionally put Queen on the map through songs such as Killer Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody. He gave Queen their biggest hit with Bohemian Rhapsody, and wrote many of Queen's bigger hits, especially in the 70s, such as Don't Stop Me Now, We Are the Champions, and Somebody to Love. Freddie Mercury wasn't only a remarkable vocalist, as many of you know, he was also an amazing piano player too and could play some guitar. From listening to what Freddie Mercury offered to the band Queen, some of you may be inclined to believe that it's okay for Freddie Mercury to overshadow the three other band members considering what he offered to the group. Nonetheless, before coming to a valid conclusion, I reckon we should look at what the other band members have to offer. Before we delve into what the other band members have to offer, I feel as if I should make it apparent that Freddie Mercury never strived to overshadow the three other band members. In fact, you may have seen through the clip that I opened this video with that Mercury hated the idea that he was thought of as the so-called leader of the band. Freddie Mercury then went on to say that we're all four equal people. It's a shame that due to the way things are, the lead vocalist is seen as almost representing the band. Nevertheless, what do the three other band members have to offer? Much like Freddie Mercury, all three of them wrote some of Queen's biggest hits. Brian May has written hits such as We Will Rock You, Hammer to Fall, and Flash. Roger Taylor also wrote a number of notable hits, including Radio Gaga, These Are the Days of Our Lives, and A Kind of Magic. And finally, John Deacon wrote some incredibly big hits, consisting of Another One Bites the Dust, You're My Best Friend, and I Want to Break Free. Looking at each of the three band members individually, Brian May is one of the best guitarists to ever live, and no one can argue with that fact. Every time I hear a Queen song such as We Will Rock You that features one of May's guitar solos, I get excited. There seems to be a worldwide consensus that Brian May's guitar playing is innovative. Roger Taylor, what can I say, he's a spectacular drummer, and can hit some incredibly high notes. And as for the oh so underrated John Deacon, he's a great bass guitarist. And due to John Deacon being a trained electronics engineer, this meant he was able to build equipment for the band. All three of them are incredibly talented, and I wish they got more recognition because of that. The only time these three of the band members get any proper recognition is from fans, which is disappointing. But this begs the question, does Freddie Mercury deserve to overshadow the three other band members of Queen? In my opinion, I would say no. Whilst I agree that Freddie Mercury was extremely talented with singing, performing, playing instruments and songwriting, moreover he was one of a kind and the three other band members understand this, although I cannot dismiss the fact that Queen was made up of four dissimilar people, which all contributed in different ways. I feel confident in saying that if even one of the four band members never joined Queen may have never made it. And even if they had somehow made it, they wouldn't have done as well as they have at this point in time. Sure, certain band members have done more for Queen as a band, yet they relied on one another as Queen was a team effort between the four of them. And that's how I will always see Queen. In conclusion, this was a topic that would eventually need discussing. This is not unusual as this has happened with many bands. Most if not all lead vocalists overshadow the other band members in their groups, which results in the other band members not getting the recognition that they perhaps deserve. This has been an opinionated video and I'm sure you all have a lot to say, so please consider telling me what you think in the comments down below. And until next time, have a good day. Thanks for watching, I hope you have enjoyed this video. What are your thoughts on the topic? Make sure to tell me in the comments down below. Like and share this video if you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye.